This year I read 19 books and I'm going to be reviewing the book. Okay, chill. I'm not going to be reviewing the 19 books. I already made a previous video where I reviewed all the books I read from January to June. And in this video, I'm going to be rating them from July to December. And you can also get recommendation if you are looking to starting a journey of building reading culture, like you want to start reading fiction books and all of that, or you're just looking for books to read. You might want to watch this video. So let's get right into it. So for July, I actually read two books. The first one is Black Boy by Richard Wright. This book, Black Boy by Richard Wright, and Wahala by Nikki May. If you know Native Son, yeah, it's the same author. But in this book, the author of the book basically wrote his autobiography, right? And he wrote it in a story form. So growing up, his father abandoned his mother and his elder brother and him when he was like I think 4, right? And when he was 4, he mistakenly set the house on fire, and his mother gave him a beating of his life. Or was it his father, right? And then they had to leave that place, I guess. So since then, he did not have a good life growing up. Basically, it was like from hand to mouth. He had to fend for himself from as little as 6 years old. Right, he didn't really get the chance to go to school, even though he was very very smart. Right, and he has always enjoyed writing. He would read books that he finds around him and all of that. And then he got involved in drugs, got involved in just like roaming about on the streets, doing petty things just so that you can eat and all of that. Imagine someone having to start their life from the age of 4, right? From the age of 4, there's not really that love and care and support that he needed. His mother was present, but she had to work hard to provide for them. And then eventually the mother got very sick. Eventually left the house, I think when he was 17. Yeah, he left the house. He found it was supposed to be a brothel or somewhere to just lodge, right? But then it turned out that it was someone else's house. So he was living with them. He was living with the woman and her daughter. But the daughter had a crush on him or liked him, but he was not just ready for that. That was like the least thing on his mind, right? And then he got a job around. The thing is, blacks just always have it worse in America, especially in this time that the book was written. So it was there's like this black there's like this racial segregation, right? So the blacks don't always get the better parts of the job or get a good living condition or something like that. As at the time he wrote this book, he was still alive. So the book just ended with him, finding his passion for writing, and eventually he started writing books, right? An autobiography of Richard Wright's life, and I really enjoyed it because it gave me an insight into how, you know, it's just like a uniform journey for the blacks in America. It's just like, oh, the Negroes always have it a certain way. Their life does not get better past this level, that kind of stuff. So that was what I was able to see from the book, and it was definitely a page turner. If I were to rate this book, I would rate it at 8.5 over 10. The next book I read is Wahala. From the title, you already know that book is just about Wahala, right? And there are three friends, three interracial friends. So their father are Nigerians, but their mothers are like different race. They are not related, though. They're just friends that have known each other from school. Boo, Simi, and Ronke. Those are the names of the three friends. And the book is just really talking about how three is company, but four is a crowd, right? Isobel, that's her name, and then she somehow is getting close to each person individually, right? So she's trying to join them, like force herself into the clique, but the other people don't want them to get past 3. But then Simi does not mind because that's her childhood friend. But then Isobel is trying to like meet each person one by one. So she's trying to noble get to give her the validation that she needs, tell her that she should pack her hair like this, she should dress like this. There's a guy in Bull's office that's trying to get across to her. He has been whining and all. So Isobel is saying that give him a chance, right? She ends up cheating with her husband, and then she moves on to Ronke. She realizes that the person Ronke is dating, I think Kayode is his name, they've had something together before. Like the girl just came into the picture and she scattered everything. And somehow the three friends have secret that they are keeping from each other that Isobel now knows, right? So Boo does something wrong, she tells Isobel. Simi does something wrong, tells Isobel. Ronke does something wrong, tells Isobel. So Isobel knows like all of them secret, but actually three people don't even know each other's secret. So the book is just a fascinating side of female friendship drama. If I were to read the book, I read the book an 8 over 10. I think it's an interesting read and it allows you to picture everything properly while you're reading it. In August, I read three books. The first one is titled Only Big Bomb Matters Tomorrow by Damilare Kuko. It was the title that drew me to the book. So there's this girl, Temi. She just graduated from OAU with a first class degree and she wants to get a BBL done because she's seeing people around social media the way they have big back and all of that, right? So she wants to have that kind of thing before the way they get favor, and also she wants to have that kind of thing. She has been saving up for it since she was like, I don't know, 400. She has been saving up for it for the past 1 year. She already has 1 million naira, but I think the BBL is going to cost 2 million. So her dad asked her on her graduation day that, oh, what does she want? She said she wants BBL. Funny thing is, the way Damilare portrays it in the book, more like the daddy did not have any issue with it, but it was not like 100% fully into it. But then eventually the dad died, so before she did the BBL. So on the day the lawyer came to read the will and everything, she thought of it as a good time to tell everybody. So she just tell everybody in the family at once that I want to get BBL done. Right. So she tells them, and as usual, just the way you can picture African parents, Nigerian relative, auntie, mommy, like, your daddy just died. BBL is what's on your mind. Kiniko, right? And then she does not feel like her sister has the right to even tell her whether or not she should get it because her sister has the perfect figure. So it's more like she cannot that's her elder sister. So it's more like she cannot even understand what she's passing through. Her sister always gets the attention from men. So the way Damilare portrays it, like Temi is a physically pretty babe, but then we have set the standard for beauty to be body shape and body type, not just physical appearance and being pretty. And the interesting thing, research actually shows that Nigerian women, out of all African women, are the people that place the highest emphasis on beauty and aesthetics. Like about 74% of Nigerian women between the ages of 18 and 25 actually spend a lot of money and time maintaining their beauty. Uganda and Ghana tied for second place with 68%, and Kenya and South Africa tied for third place with 66% each, right? So the book is just portraying what is happening in Nigeria. If I were to read the book, I read the book an 8 over 10 because I just think that Damilare could go 8 with the book. That's just it. Second book I read in August is Black Ass by Igoni Barrett. This book, it was actually on my birthday wish list and my friend got it for me. This book is funny. Right? This is the author of the book, guys. There's this Niger Delta guy, Furo Wariboko, that's his name, right? He's looking for a job, just graduated recently, he's unemployed, lives with his family. I don't even know if he lives with his dad, but his mom and his younger sister. So every day he'll go out to search for a job. It was another beautiful day for Furo to go out and search for a job. And he woke up that morning and realizes that he's white. So he's a Niger Delta guy, a black guy. The way the book portrays it, he's dark skinned, not just like African kind of black guy. He's dark skinned. And then he wakes up one morning and then he's not even looking albino, he's looking white, right? Because when he went out and all, you see that people are treating him as a white. So he was not albino, he was white. Um but then this is the irony. His bum was black. So his bum is still black the way it was, but then his whole face and other physical appearance is white. So he goes for the job interview and then he gets it obviously because he's white. People are like, they're like, why is a white man is applying to my company? Oh, definitely. The funny thing is the role he's applying for is just a delivery man. He's supposed to be delivering books to bookstore. I think where he works in a book publishing company, right? But then they gave him an office, a car, a house, right? I think they were giving him special treatment because he's white, right? And then they told him that he has to get his passport before they can give him a job, just to make sure that he's a legal immigrant. And then it's like, okay, thank you so much. He goes to a restaurant or book or something to just sit down and eat because obviously, what's he going to do? There's no way he can get a passport soon that because he's not even white. He does not want to go back home because how will he explain to his parent that he's just white? So the way the book is, guys, is like you will be reading the book with the mind that you eventually understand why a Niger Delta man will sleep and wake up as a white man. You'll be waiting that okay, maybe towards the end, they've been keeping us in suspense, like, oh, it was not actually white, it was just a figurative expression, or maybe there's a spiritual thing. Like all the while I was reading the book, I enjoyed it, but I was just hoping that maybe just somewhere between this last 3 pages, they'll tell me why a black man will sleep and wake up white. Do you know the book ended like that? The book ended with the guy impregnating the lady that he stays with. So the lady came to the restaurant to pay for his drinks and all of that, and then she took him home. Right, she just took him home, started living with her. So I finally got that the book is trying to show the, I don't know, like a white man will enjoy favor that even a Nigerian will not enjoy in his own land. It's basically saying that if a white man came to an African country now, he will get some entitlement, he'll get some, favors that even a typical Nigerian in his own country would not get that favor. So maybe he would not have gotten the job. Maybe they gave him the job because they're like, oh, a white man wants to work in our company. Maybe the lady agreed to help him do his passport within a short notice and to live with him because she's like, oh, I'm going to date a white man, right? And then eventually the lady gets pregnant and he's scared. He wants her to take out the baby because he knows that when she gives birth, it's going to be a black baby because he actually doesn't have any white gene in his blood, and the secret is going to be out, and that's how the book ends. It's a good read, but it's just funny. Like if I were to read the book, I read the book. I want to say 6.5/10 because I've just been giving all my books 7, so it's like I already booked 6.5/10, or maybe 6.6, or maybe 6.8. It just will not be 7. I don't know. But yeah, that's just it. The third book I read is Sonia. I bought this book for myself as my birthday gift. And I love the book. The book is actually Oyin Olugbile's debut. Debut is like the first book of an author. And it cost me a lot, but it was a good read. This I love African literature so much. So, and if you love all these movies like Lisa B, Seven Doors, Jagun Jagun, those kind of Yoruba traditional kind of, you probably would enjoy this book, right? But you cannot see it online. It's just a delight. The author only rewrote the Shango story in a way that she thinks it should be. So she read about the Shango story and she was like, this story, some places are not adding up, it's not giving. Let me write it in a way that I think it makes sense, in a way that it will make sense if it went down like this. So she wrote the Shango story herself, and then in the book, Shango is a woman. So this is Shango, but her name is Sonia. Do you get? Oh, the book is giving. I love it. I love the. Oh, this is a woman. I love the proverbs, the storyline, everything. I read this book in 3 days. Even that 3 days, it was because there was one particular day that I was really busy. I read this book in 2 days, right? So this, I really, really enjoyed the book, honestly. The book is about 400 pages, and I think it's the lengthiest book I've read. There's like this course that, oh, yeah, the story is so complicated. I feel like if I start narrating it now, this video will not end. Like I could just say about it, but that would be the point of it. Maybe just one video to explain this, but I cannot just narrate it. I've said what I can say. Read the by people think I go do man. Let me just stop. So yeah, perfect. If I 9/10, 9/10. That's what I'm going to rate this. I'm not giving any book 9/10. But so yeah, 9/10. September. In September, I didn't read any books, so let's move to October. In October, I read 4 books. The first one is When Breath Becomes Air. Oh, by Paul Kelanesi. That book is so emotional. If you read that book, you're going to cry, but you probably will not cry because I already told you you're going to cry because that was my story. I saw the book. 2 persons that read the book told me they cried. Then when I was reading, when you're not reading with the mind of I'm going to make sure that I don't cry because even my throat was, I was going to cry. So it's basically about this man, his real life story. He wrote his autobiography, right? So he was diagnosed, is a surgeon, and he was diagnosed with cancer of the lungs. And he started, writing the book when he was diagnosed with it. He has always loved writing. And then when he found out that he had cancer, it was like, oh, his time on earth is limited. So he started writing the book with his cancer story. So he started from when he found out he had cancer, and the whole journey was documenting it. It's a lot, I swear. When you're reading the book, you will not even, you still be reading that, okay, I understand he has cancer, I still be reading. But it's just like the last few pages. I don't have the book. I read the e-copy. Like maybe the last 2 or 3 pages. That's the part. It's going to be like the old Japan that I read earlier. Is like preparing you for the kind of outburst you're going to read when, in the last 3 pages. The part where the wife wrote the epilogue, right? Because of course he died, and then the wife had to finish the book with the epilogue. And I could relate because I've lost someone to cancer, and it was like not like I know how they feel or how they felt, right? So the book was just emotional, it's just the whole process. I mean, I recommend you read it. The next book I read is called Michael and Me. I'm not going to reveal that book because it's just a funny book. It's like a story book. The third book I read in October is The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abidari. Oh, Abidare ate left no crumbs with that book. So the book is about this babe named Aduni. Aduni is 14 years old, right? She has just lost her mother, and her father wants to give her to marriage to one man. She doesn't want to get married. She wants to go to school. Her other friends, and you allow them, they are happy for her. They're like, oh, they can't even wait for you to be them to get married. Like children growing up, they are trained from 13, 14 that they are ripe for marriage, right? So she didn't want to get married. She wanted to go to school, but eventually she had to get married to the man. And our dad actually gave her house because they were poor. They needed the bride price money to live their lives. She had two elder brothers, or I think one elder brother, one younger brother. I think so. So, the man would sleep with her. Let me even say rape because obviously it was not with her consent, but she had no choice, and he would injure her. Yeah, the man is actually married to two wives before, but then the second wife is pregnant currently. She has one or two. She shall has children that have been girls, and the man is like, if she doesn't give birth to a boy this time around, he's going to take her back to her family house. She doesn't want to disgrace her family, so she goes to her old lover that she was with before she got married to him to get her pregnant for a boy because in that man's family they give birth to a boy. So when it's time for labor, her former boyfriend that she was staying with had to do they used to do one ritual sharp before she can give birth with ease. So she died there, and then Adoni had to run away because nobody's going to believe that, oh, it was not Adoni that killed the woman. Adoni had to run away out of fear, and she was able to get to the city where she was working with a one rich woman child that her husband is just misbehaving. The husband was trying to get to Adoni. But Adoni is just a young girl that wants to go to school, and the woman is obviously maltreating her. Any small thing, she'll hit her, she'll do this, she'll do that. And then they have a neighbor that's in the city. What's her name? Why am I not remembering the name of the characters? Oh, the neighbor was nice to Adoni, and then she showed her about one scholarship stuff that okay, there's this scholarship where you can go to school, you just write an essay and you go to school. And then Adoni is like, I can't even speak proper English. Now here's the thing about the book was actually written with bad English. You get? So Aduni is the first person that is telling her story in the book, right? So it's like first person point of view. So it's not just that they're saying, oh, she went to Aduni is the one saying, oh, I went to blah blah blah. So and Aduni cannot speak proper English. So that's how they write it in the book. I go to the market to do this, blah blah blah. So that's how the book was written. And it's so crazy. Yeah, I think that's crazy because that's like the first time I have to read a book that was written in like bad English intentionally. Do you get the idea? It's a very good book though. Aduni wrote the essay and she titled it "The Girl with the Louding Voice," which is the title of the book. Because her point is, oh, the girl with the loud voice, like, oh, I can speak, I know what I want, I'm going for it. I want to be a journalist or a teacher or something like that, right? And then they're waiting for the results, blah blah blah. And then the book ends, sha. So there's a part two. The second part of the book is And So I Roar, which is the fourth book that I read in October. So in that place, they took them back. They eventually came back to take Aduni and took her to the village that oh she killed this person, so they're going to do one sacrifice with them and all of that. I was just basically talking about how you know young girls are always abused, subjected to early child marriage, subjected to suffering. They actually got the scholarship to go to the school, but then she could not resume because they've already come to carry her. They eventually found out she was in the city and they came to carry her back to the village, right? And then that was where she now wrote a book titled Anto Iroa, where she was documenting because apparently she was not the only lady there for sacrifice. Other ladies from different places that they carried for different stupid reasons brought them there. So she was collecting their stories to um write her book, right? And that's just what it was about. She was able to reunite with her brothers that she really loved so much, and she found out that the person she's living with is not even her biological father. If I were to rate the book, I'm going to rate The Girl with the Louding Voice a 9 over 10, and I'm going to rate Anto Iroa an 8 over 10. Yeah, they cannot be the same thing. Right, so in November, I read two books, and the second book is actually my book Title: I dictate my grades how to earn the best grades. So it's basically talking about how to. Am I supposed to review my book too? Okay, yeah. Anyway, Sha, if you are interested in getting high grades because you think that the high grades are for the smart people, they're not for you. You can't get those high grades and all of that. If you read that book, you're going to experience the mindset shift that you need to, and also practical tips, scientifically proven tips on how to, earn that grades that you want to earn. I even shared my story there too, and then I totally recommend that book. The book has been going. If I had it in physical copy, it'd be sold out already. So make sure to use the link in my description box in Paystack and get a copy. It's just 1,000 naira, and it's 1,000 naira because my target audience are students. Not because the book is worth 1,000 naira, but it's just my little way of giving out value almost for free. Right. So in December, I read one book which is Welcome to Lagos by Chibundu Onuzo. So it's basically the book is about two soldiers who ran away. They didn't want to be soldiers again because they told them to bomb, civilians in the Niger Delta, just bomb them for no reason. They didn't want to do that, right? So in the process of the people in the Niger Delta running up and about, they found two people. The guy, it was like he was trying to rape the girl, but the guy said he was not trying to rape the girl. The girl said he was trying to rape her because she was wearing jeans, right? So the boy's name is Fine Boy, and then the girl name is Iso Kim or something. So four of them they decided to go to Lagos together. In the bus, Chike and Yemi just are the two soldiers. Chike meets Oma, who's running away from her house because her husband is, beating her, domestic violence issue. So basically, five of them they go to Lagos together. Lagos is a very difficult place as the book portrays it. They are trying to find a job at the same time they're trying to find where to lay their head to sleep. All of those stuff. And then eventually, Fine Boy finds somewhere that on the outside it looks like an uncompleted building, but inside is a very beautiful apartment. So they move there. They're staying there only to realize that there's a politician that actually owns that place and he built it for running away for whenever he's about to be caught for all his corrupt escapades and all. So he goes there and he's shocked to realize that there are five people there living there, right? And obviously, you cannot, form politician for them because they know that the government are looking for him. But Fine Boy needs money, so he calls one reporter, that he has information about the whereabouts of this man. They come, they get information from the man. He publishes it in his newspaper, and they burn down his newspaper company because basically he had to expose, some people in the government that were doing some corrupt stuff. So they burnt him down. I think they even kidnapped his PA. He had to run to Lagos, run to UK. His name is Ahmed, right? So eventually all of them they moved away from that apartment. They were staying with Ahmed's father, and the money that the Minister of Education actually stole, Chike was taking it to schools to do what they were supposed to do, but they were doing it as if it was charity. So they were buying computer for schools, laptops, they were giving schools money and all of that, right? And then eventually the book ends on a good note. I think Chike and Oma, they eventually had something together, and then Isobel was going to go back to school, and then Ahmed was going to rebound with his former wife that they divorced, even though she already has children. And yeah, the book just ends on that good note. The book is basically exploring how they got to a very difficult city to stay in, and simultaneously the whole corrupt practices that goes around in corruption. So I'll just rate the book a 6.5 or maybe a 7. It's not easy to write a book. I'll give it a 7/10. So those are the books I read for this year. Give this video a thumbs up, comment the book that you think you're going to be reading from the ones that I reviewed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.